Because what I am saying on Abumanyamini, our people are lame. They are weak. I am struggling to count how many men there are in Biafra land. There are no more men left. Weak, docile, and imbecilic. Weak. I don't know how we can take such people to war. I don't know how we can take men who are not men into battle and win. I am ashamed. Very, very ashamed. Nonetheless, we must preach this very gospel because man did not ask us to come. Chukwu Abiyama in heaven mandated that we should come. If not, that I was called to do this very work, I will not speak to any of you anymore. But Chukwu Abiyama said this very gospel must be preached, and we must preach it. I have prayed since yesterday up until now. My request is very simple. The same prayer I made in secret, I will make out here in the open. Chukwu Abiyama biko. Since it is your intention that your kingdom will be restored upon this very earth, I need men. I need men. I did not say boys. I said I need men. Those of them that you created to restore your kingdom, they should come forward now, not tomorrow, not next year. Chukwu Abiyama. You must bring them now. I did not say tomorrow. Because the insult is too much. It is beyond what any human being can endure. We want to go and get Biafra, or we die in the process, because we are better off dead than witness some of this nonsense going on. The level of insult is beyond what any decent human being can tolerate.
The level of insult is beyond what any human being can tolerate. That's from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you all. It's been a while, it's been a long time, but I assure you that we are formidable, we are strong, and we're still moving on strongly as we prepare for another dispensation of taking our freedom in our hands and doing what we have to do rightly. I want to appreciate you for joining wherever you're watching from, and I want to thank you, those of you who are watching from the zoo also, and those people who are, the notice is short anyways. There was no actual notification for this broadcast today, but I know that once we come on, we'll always have people who want to actually come and who are ready to listen to the voice of truth and also to listen to the gospel of truth. I want to welcome you. Today is Friday, the 5th day of May, 2023, 5/5/2023, and this is about 9 days or so. We've been offline. This is about 5 days or so. I think so. And I'm sorry, 9 days or so, 8-9 days. And it's not because we didn't want to come, but because there's been lots of activities and circumstances and issues that actually that actually have been lots of things under there. But we appreciate you all for still staying steadfast and strong. For those of you who are still staying on the path of truth, I want to appreciate you on behalf of those people who are truthful and on behalf of the accountability group. I want to thank you. I want to also say to you, wherever you're watching from, please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms and let people join us. I know when we have a short notice, or we didn't even notify at all anyways, but we know that from now, I tell you, we'll be consistent. We'll be consistent by God's grace. We'll make sure that we are always here to talk and to discuss. And as we await await Mazi Nnamdi Kanu joining us, we know lots of things have been happening and lots of activities going on, and I can't just come and start telling you stories and stories upon stories. You all know the things that are going on. You all have details of the activities, but we are not going to be looking at activities and stories without looking at the facts and the things that are very, very important and key to us, and that is the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, it's been troubling. It's been really, really troubling and disheartening. We know that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is around, all these shenanigans, all these misbehaviors, all this criminality, and all these things that are, contrary to the dictates of the program of liberation would be sorted. They will be sorted naturally because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the cynosure of the project itself, and he has been given the mandate by Chukwu Okike to make sure Chukwu Okike. Let me pronounce it like an Igbo man. And somebody said I'm from Sokoto. The other time they say I'm from Ghana. Now they're saying I'm from Sokoto. God help them. But it's also interesting that someone they believe is not a Biafran is actually fighting and doing everything, and they are sitting somewhere crossing their legs waiting for who is going to come do for them, but I'm doing my work and my mandate as Chukwu Okike has given to me for my people and for the people of Biafra. And so my people and Biafrans, the true lovers of freedom, you know what I'm talking about. We're going to get there and we're going to be alive to see the freedom. None of us will die. We will all see our freedom, especially those who are on the path of truth. Those who are on the path of truth and those who have not stained their hands in blood, who have not gone into criminality because of using Biafra. If you have gone into criminality, stealing from Biafrans and extorting, using the name of Biafra to extort, and using Biafra to make money for yourself, you know that you will be caught by the spirit of Biafra, and then you will know that God is true. And you know that this thing is not about human, activities, but of God who actually have ordained it. I want to welcome you live and direct. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and this is Biafra Global Network. And of course, on this platform, the gospel of truth is consistent. Here we go.
Worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. Yes. The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPOB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there.
We take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, burn Nigeria down to the ground.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is the voice of Ohamadike of Biafra, the one who is our leader and would always appreciate for how much he has been able to educate us and help everyone of us to be connected to this fact of our freedom and opening our eyes to the cause of freedom. And again, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been the reason why we are doing what we're doing, especially in relation to how we want to see that he's free. And good evening. Thank you so much, my sister, my beautiful sister. Thank you so much. Hope all is well with you. Yes, everything is well. I've been stressed up anyways because, Biafra issue and personal issues. And before you know it, in fact, not long ago, I just finished what I'm doing and I just came live and tired, stressed. But I said today, no, today will not it. I just want to do a particular brief broadcast today, preparing the minds of our people against tomorrow and then continuing from that, and then we're going to be doing lots of things talking about this whole thing. And one thing we're very, very concerned about now is the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Lots of distractions, lots of issues going on there, lots of people coming using Biafra to say so many things, boosting their own pages, boosting their platforms, looking for how their self-aggrandizement and looking for how they're going to make, but we are very concerned. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the focus now. Almost 2 years, he is still in the dungeon of the DSS, and we are here giving ourselves position, giving ourselves titles, extorting money from people, using Biafra as a means of enriching ourselves, and doing lots of evil. But the end of evil is near. The end of evil is near, and I can assure you that. So we're doing everything. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is our target. I want to tell you that in the accountability group, we have two major focus, and that focus is going to be achieved, or is being programmed to be achieved, with direction, precision, and concentration. We're not ready for all these shenanigans, all these issues of family meetings. Every time you come together, you just keep talking and talking. No, we are very focused and determined. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be free, however it is, however they want to look at it, however they want it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be freed, and that is our focus. The accountability group is doing everything it is doing and working together in synergy with our partners in the media, on the media platform, Biafra warriors and fighters. We are doing great things. We are doing things together to make sure that we get Mazi Nnamdi Kanu free, and we are working effectively and very, very in earnest as we publish, as we discuss, as we expose the evils going on, as we'll expose the facts of evils going on and the things that are going on. We also are doing our groundwork, putting things together to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released. Now, in preparation to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release, I want to appreciate you. Somebody saying, I don't know why our people. Conan View Media, thank you so much. Hi, Galicia and everyone. Thank you so much, my brother. Good to have you here. I want also to make sure that the e-frogs are actually also... I'm so worried. Okay, Edith Nedu says she's so worried about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I believe you're talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, we're all worried. We're very worried. Every moment I am out here, I'm thinking of my own self and thinking of how I'm going to get some stuff for myself, doing my personal business and all of that. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is somewhere stuck. Every time we are all out there thinking of ourselves, thinking of how we're going to eat, thinking of how we're going to feed their children, think of now where we're going to go and how we want to celebrate, how we want to go visit our loved ones, how we want to do some stuff. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been locked up for almost 2 years. Every time we are thinking of how we're going to make money, we are thinking of contracts, doing businesses, we are thinking of how we're going to defraud other people, like those who have used Biafra project now for defrauding people. Every time we are doing all of these things, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is locked in the DSS dungeon. Every time we have allowed ourselves to be overwhelmed by circumstances and situations, and allowed ourselves to be carried away by the facts of what we do, and then the facts of our self and all of that, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is locked up in the DSS dungeon. And he's locked up not because he cannot be free, but because he has resolved to stay on the path of truth and to tell the Nigeria contraption that he will not sell, he will not betray us, he will not sell the project of Biafra. He is going to be consistent, he's going to be out there, and whatever it takes for him to, and all of that, he's going to stand for that truth, and he's going to make sure that we actually get our freedom. Before he knew that these kinds of things will ever come, because he knows that, of course, it is anyone who stands on the path of truth will always be a target. Of course, will always be a target. You see, that's how it is. It has been from the beginning of time. Whenever you are, on the path of truth, you are going to be a target. When Eve and Adam were on the path of truth, they became a target for the devil to come manipulate them and to make them sin against God. But here is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said when he was still free, knowing that the enemies are still looking for how to attack and capture him. He said this to us.
Worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. Yes. The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPOB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes.
2 million.
I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there. I will be there.
We take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, burn Nigeria down to the ground.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Edith Nedu, I just saw your message, Edith. You said you're worried for me. Please, why are you worried? I understand anyways. But all you guys got to do for me is to pray for me, because there are lots of attacks here and there. I don't come out to say them. I receive attacks every day, both spiritually, both the ones they send on social media. They know where I am. They come and deal with me. They know my family. They say I'm not Biafran, but they say they know my family in Biafra land. And so they will go there and get my family. They know everything about me, yet they say I'm in Sokoto. I'm in Sokoto, man. They say I'm in Ghana. They know everything about my family. If you don't stop talking about Simon, we're going to come for you. We're going to do this. We know your family. We have made investigation. We know where you are. We know where your family is. We know where your village is. We're going to go there. We're going to deal with this. Blah blah blah. That's it. So so all you got to do for me, if everyone who actually Edith Nedu, especially, pointing it out here, that you're worried. All anybody can do for me is to pray for me, and then also watchful for me and all of that. God is going to protect me, because I know I've not done any evil. I'm exposing lies. I'm exposing the evils, and I'll keep doing it. I'm going to keep standing on the path of truth. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is suffering for that purpose, and so who am I? But I know God will protect me. Thank you so much, Edith. I'm really grateful. But I hope that's where you're worried about, or is there anything else you want to say? Maybe you received a particular inspiration in your spirit or revelation in your spirit concerning me, because I've heard somebody who has told me before, when I dreamt about you, they came to attack you, and the stone, it's like fire rolling towards me and rolling very fast, and she was very afraid, and I said that nothing will happen to me, and all of that. And so there are these attacks. They will always come for people who have decided to do what they have to do to talk about the truth and to face the truth. So please just keep praying for me. But if there's any other thing that you want to say about why you're worried, Edith, that you can tell me. Or if you want to send it as a private message, just send it to on WhatsApp to me on the number, of course, +212-707-898-194, +212-707-898-194. I want to appreciate you all. Now, that video, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking about what we need to do if he's arrested. And you know what worries me? You see, we know how to push people and make people, even when they are, even when we know that sometimes what we are doing, we actually don't really mean it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking. See, you can hear the ovation, you can hear the noise, the shoutings. We will be there. We will do this. If you are taken to Abuja court case, we'll be there. We'll be doing this. We'll be doing that. And then he now finally said, you are under oath. And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order to take orders from me. If any day you wake up and hear that I have been arrested, burn down Nigeria, burn down Nigeria. He specifically made that statement in 2017 without mincing words. In October, I think in October 2017 also, he made that statement, and he categorically said what he wants to be done. And the other day I was given an analogy of a father who tells its son, using Simon, Simon who claimed to be the first son and the disciple, and after we have given him his support so that he could join forces with the people and us and see how we can, of course, because it has been the narrative that whenever we talk about freedom, we want someone to be in front, and then we support, because that's how it has been. So since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not present, we need him to be free. And so what we do is that we bring someone to the front and then that person being at the front, we all push him and support that person, and then that person goes on, and on our behalf, consulting us, going around with us, because I didn't see you for 1 week online. Okay. It was a stressing week for me anyways. Aside that, also activities of Biafra, having meetings and all of that for what we want to do, because we are building a very formidable foundation for what we want to do, so that when we come all out, people will know that we are serious-minded. People will know that it is not about fraud. People know that it is not about another deceit, another dispensation of deceit. And this platform of the accountability group is directly under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. No other person is leading it. It is critically, there's no somebody who fronts themselves. Somebody can actually speak for us or be a spokesperson or a moderator at a particular time, but they are not the leader. They cannot make decisions. They cannot override any decision that everybody takes. They cannot do anything on their own. So the accountability group wants to set the standard. See, let me tell you something. There's something Miles Monroe said. Those of you who know Miles Monroe, Miles Monroe is one of my role models. I've been following him since the year 2007-8. Reading his books, and of course, very, very. My role models are Miles Monroe, T.D. Jakes, and Noel Jones. These are basically the three people I follow very, very strongly and read their books. And Noel Jones, Miles Monroe, T.D. Jakes. These are the three people I read their books. With what of course God led me to be, to look at these ones as role models. I don't know them personally anyways, but of course, you don't need to know people personally to actually follow them or to do some. That's why I call them role models. If I know them personally, I would have called them mentors. You don't call someone whom you have not met one-on-one a mentor. You call the people who are you look up to, and you see them from afar as that. And Kelechi, remain strong. The Lord is your shield. Thank you so much, my brother, for that prayer. I appreciate you. I know some of you. I know you guys. When I talk, you guys understand what I'm saying. Honestly, the attack spiritually is really really serious. But I know I don't come always to say all of this stuff, because I don't want to bother people with all of those details and to begin to bring about self-pity and all. I don't believe, because I put my hand, the scripture says, he who puts his hands in the plow and looks back is not fit. So if you put yourself into a thing that you already know is dangerous, is dangerous, you just have to bear the whole thing that will come. But I believe that God will protect me. Thank you so much for your prayers. And all I want you guys to continue to pray that God will help me and God will strengthen us, especially every one of us who are on the path of truth. Now, so I listened to these guys, and one thing I listened about Miles Monroe, I actually got from Miles Monroe is something he said. Thank you so much, Canon View Media. I appreciate you so much, my brother. Thank you. And of course, I get your messages regularly and your updates and the information you give to me also. Thank you so much, Canon View. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now, Miles Monroe said something critical. He was talking to, I think that was the time I played that stuff. Maybe I'm going to look for it again one of these days, and I'm going to play it. He was talking with Benin Hinn, and he said something. He said, God has created us to be managers. That means what God created us to do is to be managers. And Benin Hinn said, wow, he has not heard it in that light before. And he now went further to discuss the issue of how God created the garden and then put the man into the garden and said, mend it. He said, maintain it. And then he talked about when you talk about management, which means in the principles of management, increase, multiplication, replenishing are the fundamentals of management. Increase, multiplying, replenishing, and sustaining. Also, okay, increase, multiply, replenish, and increase. That's increase, multiplication, replenishment. These are the fundamentals of. These are also fundamentals of management, because in management, what you have is that fundamentally, anyways. I hope there's no network problem here. Okay, I want to make it, because we're looking forward to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is coming out with things we need to do, and hopefully also. Now, let's look at it this way. When there is an idea and people are brought into that idea, what they are supposed to do. Now, I'm looking at it in the eyes of Biafra now, because Biafra is an idea. Of course, the idea of Biafra is not actually a product that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu owns. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is giving the revelation of Biafra as a product he must manage. And so for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to manage Biafra, he must come to talk to the people, which you and I. And then when he talks to us, we're going to come together with everything that we are, every of our ideas and everything that we are created to have. And together we're going to bring these things together, and then we are going to manage Biafra. Now, I will explain it in details. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was given that mandate, just like when Adam was put in the garden, God told him, you will have to increase. Remember, the garden was already furnished. The garden was already prepared. He didn't need to, he's not the one to prepare it. God prepares it. And then God puts him into a prepared garden. Now, God tells him what he needs to do, which are the basic principles of management: to increase, to multiply, to replenish. Now, God gives him this now and tells him that this is what you have to do, but God makes him understand this, that in the process of increasing, you are still going to be creative, because it is in the concept of creativity that you can increase. But first, you must understand the details of what you have so that you can know how to apply what you need to apply to get an increase. Which means that when God gave the mandate of Biafra, he gave a knowledge to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That knowledge was sought or gotten from history, and at the same time from revelations coming to his mind. And God teaches him what he needs to do and all of that for Biafra to be achieved. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now goes into imputing and implanting these things into us. Now, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu began doing this stuff and implanting these things into us, the spirit also that revealed these things to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu began to reveal to us also the details of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu already reveals or give to us by information from the realm of the spirit. Thank you so much, my brother Mado Abuchi. Thank you so much for your good evening to you too. Thank you so much. Now, the concept here is this: Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was given or was impregnated with the concept of Biafra. He is not the owner of Biafra, but he was given the mandate to lead the people, just like Moses was given the mandate to lead Israel. So God puts Mazi Nnamdi Kanu into the system, and then Mazi Nnamdi Kanu begin to teach us the things God has given to him, just like Moses began to teach the children of Israel the laws of God. And so these laws of God was used by Moses to indoctrinate the people. Now, remember, I told you something about indoctrination. There's indoctrination that tilts towards the positive side and the indoctrination that tilts towards the negative. The indoctrination that tilts to the negative is the type that you see with Boko Haram, the type you see with ISIS, and the type you see with politicians, of the zoo, the type you see with evildoers and all of that, and people who try to, and people who try to, manipulate other people and destroy them, like what Simon is doing right now, using everything that he sees that passes. He actually wants to use it to manipulate people. He hears of military people who are going to be, who want to resign. He comes up to say he's given order that everyone in the military should resign. He hears about election. He comes to give 150 days and tell you that will be, that will be Nigeria will end, and he knows that then Nigeria is going to end, whereas he has calculated by gambling that at least when the result of the election comes up, the people would have been, the people would have on their own begin to fight for their mandate, and then there will be riots and everything, and there will be commotion everywhere, and then the Arewas will not agree. There are the ones in the Yorubas will not, Oduduwa will not agree, the Biafrans will not agree, so there will be commotion. He actually envisaged an implosion of Nigeria. So he was cashing into that. And all that things, other examples, if you see my write-up today, I actually mentioned, these are the kinds of manipulation that we see. That is what we call, indoctrination, tilting towards the negative, where you want to make people believe in something by deceit and manipulation. But when you want to make people believe in the truth, you use that. It is still the same concept, of trying to impact the people, of course, in the ways of teachings, in the ways of actions, and all of that, to get the people to be knowledgeable about these facts, and then to understand the details of what you're trying to make them understand and know. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was given this information by the Spirit, and he was told to indoctrinate Biafrans with the information from the realm of the Spirit. Indoctrinate their spirit. Yes, thank you so much. Kindly press the like button and share as you join. Thank you so much, Kunyon View Media. Please share on all your social media platforms and let the people also join. Let the people also join. Some people will come, and all they do is they tell me, and see, you have only 10 watching, only 20 watching, only this number watching. I don't understand what their problem is anyways. I know people, especially those who are who want to allow themselves, who actually are looking for. I've seen some e-frogs. Some e-frogs are here, like David Honor. They don't have real names. Like David Nana. Another one is David Nana. Another one is David Honor. E-frogs are here. So just allow them. Please don't complain about them. Don't even respond to them. They are e-frogs. They have to jump to everywhere where they see truth. They'll jump there. Just like when Adam and Eve were in the garden. Beautiful garden. The snake comes and begin to tempt them. Now look at the beautiful platform for truth. They have come in like the snake, coming into a good thing, coming into a beautiful garden, coming into the path of truth, coming into the program of truth, coming into the platform of truth to actually tempt people. So no need to respond to them. That's their job, to eat frogs. Or else, how then do you talk about frogs if you don't have them present? You have to be present for you to know they are frogs. So allow them to make their noise. That is normal. It's normal. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu began to indoctrinate us, and then God made sure that we got it right and got it very well. And then God removes him for a while. I've said this several times. And then God began to teach us how to work together so that when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu returns, as we prepare for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's comeback. Now, the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was removed is because God wants to teach us how to get these things from the things Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have taught us. God wants to see how we can now come together to put these things together, to prove that we have come to understand all that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking about, and to prove that the teachings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are not in vain. God takes Mazi Nnamdi Kanu away and now allows us now to begin to put one and one together, and to see how we can get ourselves well organized by the teachings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Remember, the teachings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is supposed to, one, help us set a better template on how we're going to get our freedom. That means the kind of freedom we want, the kind of nation we want. Is it a transparent nation? Is it a nation of truth? Is it a nation of transparency? Is it a nation of justice? Is it a nation of fairness? Is it a nation of no criminality? These are the things that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was preaching all these years. These are the things that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been talking over and over. And God now gives us an opportunity to organize ourselves in that realm. So when people like Simon came, God saw that God already knew, but God gives them an opportunity to show themselves. And they come and they introduce criminality to the highest. They introduce the kind of criminality that oh my God. Somebody say he's not an e-frog. Why would you come to a program and begin to tell me what to do? It's Biafra about Igbo. He says speak Igbo language. It's Biafra about Igbo. That's why people don't understand. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu teach you. You don't understand. You're an e-frog. Because if out of everything I'm saying, all you're concerned about is for me to speak a language. Out of all the languages in Biafra land, I should speak Igbo. Then that's when you know if I'm a Biafran. Something is definitely wrong with you. You are actually a frog, an e-frog. So continue your work here. I want to respond to you again. I just had to talk about this because I needed to make you understand that you're an e-frog, because you are actually not listening to the message. Truthful people will listen to message. E-frogs will come and begin to distract with other information. So now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now begin to teach these things, and God takes him away. And then God says, now it is now the people to arrange themselves and to prove that we have actually understood what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents. And David is laughing. That we have actually, we have actually understood what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents. So God now takes Mazi Nnamdi Kanu away and wants to watch. Are these people ready for freedom? Are these people ready for freedom? So God will use people within us, just like he used Judas in the midst of the disciples, to cause a particular mayhem, to cause confusion, to make sure that the master is sold, so that the people will be scattered, so that the sheep will be scattered. Judas played his role very well, just like Simon is playing his own role right now. Simon is playing the role of Judas in the whole of the program, just like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have gathered us together. So, but in the midst of this, Judas, how do we call it? Judasical program. Let me use that word, Judasical, because yes, in the midst of this Judasical program, God is going to test our resolve on how we are going to maintain the principles of freedom that he has used Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to teach us. So, which means that for us to prove that we have actually digested, understood, and comprehend, even if understand and not comprehend are the same thing, but for emphasis, anyways, for us to prove that we understand these things, God gives us an opportunity to express them in the midst of the confusion that comes. So when Judas sold Jesus, you know what happened? Suddenly, there was an opportunity for Peter to prove that he is true. What did Peter do? He denied Christ. The other disciples ran away, and they got into that confusion. And in the midst of the whole thing, God still gathered them together and showed them that and said, okay, you can't do it without me. You need me. That means I'm going to send my spirit upon you. The same way also, God leads us now, watches us and to see how we're going to operate and act in this manner to the things that we have heard, and the things that we have heard from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and all decisions. Now we are, you see, everything is happening. People are going here, left, right, those who are confusing the people, those who are scattering the people. But God says, I'm going to send my spirit that will help you. So God anoints us, anoints some people at the same time. You and I who are standing on the path of truth, God puts the spirit in us, and then we begin to get formidable in the midst of the shaking, in the midst of the temptation, in the midst of the betrayal. We begin to get formidable. Suddenly we are going to stand. God makes some people stand on the path of truth and say, no, we will not follow the path of lies. And these are people like you and me who are standing on the path of truth. That means if you are standing on the path of truth. So God prepares us and brings us to that point where we would now effectively showcase and prove to the realm of the spirit that we are ready for the freedom. The only time God is going to give us this freedom is when we prove that we are ready for the freedom. And how are we going to prove it? God gives us opportunities to prove these things. Now, opportunities are always coming in disguise. But you can only recognize opportunities when you are prepared in the context of disguise, when you are prepared with information or the ability to recognize disguised opportunities. So it's just like when, let me look for an example. For instance, just like in scripture, when the three angels were passing, I think in Genesis chapter, I can't remember now, in Genesis anyway, in the book of Genesis, and Abraham was sitting outside, and then, maybe taking the breeze, or just enjoying himself and relaxing. And then three men began to move and pass him. And he said, no. He went to the three men. He rushed to them. Oh, man, please don't pass my house. Come into my house. I want to give you food. I want to feed you. I want to clean your feet from the dust and all of that. And the men said they are busy. He said, no, please come. Please. I want to entertain you. Now, Abraham, through the program of God and through the knowledge of the things of the Spirit, recognized these men as spiritual access to a divine program, which in the normal sense of activity, or in the natural sense, or in the eyes of the natural, it was not really an opportunity. Now, ask yourself, how come Abraham understood that these three men were special? How come? There was a prompting in his spirit, which he didn't even recognize. But all he needed to do is to respond to the Spirit, because the Spirit prompts you and you just recognize that there's something prompting you to do what you have to do, not because you can see anything physical as evident, as showing to you that what you are actually doing right now has a significance, but because there's a spiritual prompting which you don't understand, but yet you have to respond to. I don't know whether you understand it here. So Abraham understood these principles because he was already prepared by the word of God that I've told him, just go in the mission to the land I will show you. He didn't know the land. He didn't know where the land was. He didn't know who is in control of the land. He didn't know where the land is. But he just obeyed the words and started going. You remember his father, initially, his father's name is Terah. Initially, he had the information from God, left with Abraham and other people and all of that, and went away. And then his father died along the way. Then Abraham was told to now move. Abraham took Lot, took his sister Sarah, whom he had married now, and all of that. And then they move on. Now, all of this information, all of these activities of Abraham were being prompted by the Spirit because you know why? He obeyed. Now, obedience is key to understanding opportunities or discovering opportunities. Obedience has a way it recognizes opportunities because obedience is a program of the Spirit. When God told Nnamdi Kanu to come talk about Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, now remember, we are talking about how prepared. We're preparing ourselves for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu coming because what the accountability group is doing now is preparing for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want to assure you, every one of you would know that Biafra is formidable from the program the accountability group is designing. Not all these shenanigans where some people just sit down and take decision and then, no, not all this kind of opaque operation where you don't know what is happening, you're just told anything and then later it can be manipulated. No, we are designing the program that tallies with what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been teaching. Everybody has an input. Now let me tell you, the accountability group has been so much designed that in fact, for us to get it wrong, we must all be stupid. That means everybody must be stupid. And everybody can't be stupid. And when it comes to a system where democracy is very, very respected and operational, you will discover that that place and the system will thrive. Now, do you know why we are democratic? God puts Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as leader, and then God puts in us, the accountability group, the ability to be democratic and making sure that we don't assign the position of a leader to any other person. Remember, when Israel wanted to enthrone Aaron and needed Aaron to give them a god, remember, Aaron was represented or was representing falsehood in leadership when they told Aaron to build the golden calf in I think in Exodus chapter 19 or so, like 18, 19. No, Exodus chapter 21 or so. Yes, Exodus 21 or so. Now, remember, Moses was ordained as leader by God. So the words of God were coming to Moses, to the people. Moses programmed the people to be judged or to be looked after by people who headed different groups, but all of them under the leadership of Moses. Now, when Moses was taken to the mountain to get the word of God in the tablets to bring to the people felt that they needed a leadership and they needed a God that will back that leadership. Oh my God. Now, let me tell you something. Thank you so much, Konon View Media. Is there anyone asking Kelechi to speak useless Igbo that betrayed Nnamdi Kanu? It's an e-frog. Thank you so much, my brother. That's out of all the languages of Biafra, the person says I should speak Igbo. Why Igbo? That is how we confuse ourselves. We're talking about Biafra. You're telling me to speak Igbo. Well, now listen. Moses represented the true God because he was sent by the true God. When the people told Aaron to give them a God, they were making Moses a leader. They were making Aaron indirectly their leader who would lead them to a particular God they prefer to worship. Oh my God. A particular God they prefer to worship. Now, whenever you assign leadership on someone whom God has not constituted or directed to lead you, you have actually told yourself that you are no more looking up to the leader God is given to you, but now you are wanting somebody else that you desire. And as soon as you want somebody else you desire, you will need a God that person would be subject to for yourself. Now, let me say to you like this. Please let me take this call. Let me take this call. Okay. All right, please. Let's go on, please. Now listen. Let me explain it better now, because this is where I'm going to end this broadcast, because I think I'm being called for a meeting. This is where I'm going to end it. Now listen. When Moses was leading the people, he was leading the people under the direction and the order of God. Get it right. Because I want you to understand. Let's look at it also. As I talk about Moses, I want you to put it also in the perspective of Biafra. So when I'm using Moses, I'm actually bringing the picture of Biafra so that you can understand, because I need some of this explanation for you to understand what I'm trying to say. God called Moses to lead the people and give the people his words. God called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to lead us and give us his words. Now, when Moses was taken away from the people to get more words from God to come back to the people, he was still the leader, and he was still under the control of God, and the people were still under Moses, under God. So when as soon as God took Mazi Nnamdi Kanu away from us, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still our leader, under God, while we are under him, under God. Now, the moment the children of Israel said to Aaron, we see, it seems you are the number one disciple of Moses. And as number one disciple of Moses, we need you. We have not seen Moses for a while now. We have not seen Moses for a while now, and we cannot just stay like that. There shouldn't be a vacuum. It's about our freedom, is it not? We are going to the promised land, Aaron. It's about our freedom. So even if Moses is not here now, we don't know what has happened to him. Just like our people are saying now, we don't know what has happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We don't know whether he's still in the DSS dungeon. We don't know what's happening to him for almost 2 years now. We need somebody to stand in that place. We need somebody to be in that place. We need a leader. They now took Aaron and said, Aaron, give us a God. You know why? Every leader is under a particular God. For Aaron to be enthroned, there is a need for installing another God, because the God that called Moses will not enthrone Aaron when Moses is still alive. No, it's not possible. When you decided to accept Simon as your prime minister, you automatically told yourself that you have renounced God's order and control, because you are now saying, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we don't know where he is. So, Aaron or Ekpa, come and lead us. As soon as you begin to design who leads you from the person God has ordained to lead you, you are already towing the line of creating another image of a God, because every leader is under a particular under a particular order of a particular God. When Aaron was now, brought forward to lead the people, suddenly he had to make a golden calf that would represent an order of a false God, because the true God called Moses. The enthronement of Aaron was going to be conspicuous by positioning a false God. So if Aaron would take that place or the position, then a false God must be enthroned, because the true God will not enthrone another king over the people until he takes away the one whom he has called. And as long as Moses is still alive, the true God would not enthrone another God. For any other God to be enthroned by the people, they need to design a particular God that is the golden calf, so that Aaron will be subject to a God for them, being under authority of that God for their sake. As soon as Aaron was able to design that false God, all they started doing is they started worshiping. You saw what happened. And God was telling telling Moses, see what's going on. Moses never understood the gravity of what was going on. He was begging God to forgive them. When he came down and saw the gravity of what was going on, he got very angry. And that was when he displayed his first anger beyond, that's very, very angry. Now, God enthroned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still alive. And then someone comes and manipulates you and puts himself in a position that he was not ordained by God to occupy. Because whenever he tells you that he's a prime minister, he has actually taken the place of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, looking at it from every corner. However you want to paint the story. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not put him in that position. The only person who can give him that position is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, ordained by God. So as soon as you put him there, you enthroned a false god. Because Simon needs a God that will back him up. So any God that approves of him sitting there by you forcing him to continue there and supporting him to be there, it is like the order of Aaron, which is not approved by God himself. I think I'm going into this thing so deeply. I will make sure I don't exceed 1 hour in this broadcast. I have about 9 minutes more. Now, but we are setting the pace, preparing for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's return. Now, I'm not saying release, because they don't have power to release him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, nobody has power to release him. He's coming back. Chukwu Okike took him away. Chukwu Okike will bring him back. Everything that concerns Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the hands of God. As much as human as we are as humans, we worry about it, we still know that God is in control. Not just MNK, but with the... Thank you so much, Canon View. Yes. In fact, the unanimous permission of the people was automatic because God just pushed him to us. In fact, when God presents something to you, you don't doubt the authority of God. How? Because you will see on that person the authority of God. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Everything he said came to pass. From 2010, when he was talking, even beyond, when he kept talking about all of this stuff, everything, that is a proof that he has the ordination of God. And so, just like when God sent Moses to the people, everything Moses said was coming to pass. Moses was showing them sign by the things he said and the actions he took. So that was evident of the people approving Moses. Because God gives the leader signs that will make the people or convince the people to approve his elected one. So when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came into the scene, God gave him signs that the people saw and approved him automatically. So we automatically approved of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or permitted him to be our leader by the order and the signs God put in him in his life. That is how it is. If you decide to enthrone any other person, as much as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is alive, anybody who takes any title that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not confer on them, anybody who takes a title of leadership over Biafrans, to claim to be the leaders of Biafra, to be the leader of Biafra right now, is operating outside the ordination of the servant of God, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and at the same time is working against the order of Chukwu Okike. And the only thing that can happen is that system will fall. It won't be sustained for long. Just watch it. Just watch it. It won't be sustained for long. So, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is coming. And he's going to come into a system that is programmed, well organized, which will spell a better option of how the people have coordinated themselves preparing for his return. The return of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is only going to be by God's ordinance and program. As much as we worry as humans, we subject ourselves to God's program. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be out soon. And I want to assure you, we are doing everything to make sure that we work in unity. We unite the men on ground. We have the basic template to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as much as Chukwu Okike would use our plans and programs to bring about the total liberation of God's people and the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So without God, whatever thing we're doing will not stand. But with God, all things are possible. And I want to tell you, I want to assure you that we'll get it right. We'll get it right this time around. Now let me play this voice from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu one more time, and then we're going to end this broadcast. Tomorrow we shall be here live. Whether I don't know whether it's going to be I think it's going to be in the evening because of time, because of activities. So prepare yourself. And on Sunday, of course, you're going to be on Twitter Space, 4 p.m. Biafra time. So prepare yourself. Tomorrow we're going to have, I think I might have Sorunadi in the house tomorrow, or I have other people be here with me. But if not, I'm also going to be here, and I'm going to go deeper into this teaching so that people begin to understand what they need to do and how they need to do it. Now listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu again, what he said we should do whenever we hear that he has been arrested.
Worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. The worst mistake ever. I will break the zoo to pieces. What is going to happen? I am taking IPAB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there.
Hey, we take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, born Nigeria dance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now that's the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and that is what he told us to do. And that is the order. I don't know how you see it, but we must act on that order. And that is what we have to do. I want to appreciate you all, and I want to say kudos to you who are standing on the truth. Canon View Media says that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not be in the dungeon beyond this month of May. He said, and that is what is going to happen. He will not be in that dungeon beyond this month. Yes, he said in the next Supreme Court here in Abuja, there shall be 2 million people in Abuja. That order must be executed. Thank you so much, my brother. And it must be executed. So we must come together to execute that order. We must come together. I want to appreciate you all, and I want to say, stay tuned. Tomorrow I shall be here again. And of course, it shall be better. We'll be talking deeper things, and then we'll be exposing some other lies that are going on out there. This is our job to do, to expose the lies and to reveal the truth and present the truth to you. Thank you so much all. I appreciate you. Listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu one more time. Stay blessed, and God bless you very good.
The worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. The worst mistake ever. I will break the zoo to pieces. What is going to happen? I am taking IPAB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there.
Hey, we take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, born Nigeria dance.
Yes, sir.